Here in Germany, talking about money and salary is a big taboo. That's why most people have no idea if they are severely underpaid or secretly in the top 10% of earners. What if you're making way less than you should, or way more than you think? Lucky you, there's an official income calculator that finally shows you where you stand. And yes, it even includes a filter for expats. So join me as we find out who really earns the most here in Germany and where your salary fits in. You might be surprised. Usually, income statistics in Germany are pretty generic and hard to relate to, but not this one. The statistic we're using today is backed by real, high-quality data from the socio-economic panel. It's one of the most accurate income surveys in the country based on the responses from over 35,000 people all across Germany. And the best part, all that data has been packed into this interactive income calculator. To get started, we just need to enter your net income. And that's where things get tricky already. Because your net income isn't necessarily what your employer transfers to your bank account. We covered this in last week's video on how German payslips work. So if you're unsure what your real net salary is, this video will help you out. But the calculator doesn't just stop at your salary. It asks for your total income after taxes, including salary, investment income like interest or dividends, rental income, and even government benefits like Kindergeld. And if you're hearing this list and think, well, I only have salary and nothing else yet, don't worry. That's exactly what we can help you with. You can book a free meeting with us with the link in the comments. Once we enter everything, you'll see two graphs. On the left, you'll see your position compared to the entire population. If your total net income is 2,120 euro, that places you right at the median, meaning 50% earn more than you and 50% earn less. If you're aiming for the top 10%, you'll need a net income of 3,800 euros per month. And to crack the top 1%, you need 6,800 euro net, which is roughly 12,000 euro gross before taxes and deductions. The left side of the calculator shows how your income compares to the entire population in Germany. But the real magic happens on the right side of the graph. This is where things get personal because you can adjust the filters to match your specific situation. For example, do you live in Western or Eastern Germany? In Western Germany, the median net income is 2,180 euros, and to be in the top 10, you need to earn at least 4,000 euro net. Now watch what happens when we switch to Eastern Germany. Here the median income drops to 1,850 euro, and the net income of 3,150 euro is enough to put you in the top 10%. The same 4,000 euro net that barely gets you in the top 10% in the West. It shoots you straight into the top 4% in the East. So yes, where you live in Germany really does make a big difference when it comes to your income. But the difference doesn't stop at East versus West. The exact place you live in also plays a role in how your income compares. And this one isn't surprising. People living in large cities with over 500,000 inhabitants tend to earn the most. A net income of 2,180 makes you the median in a major city, and to land in the top 10 you need 4,300 euro net. What's interesting is that none of the other population sizes, rural villages, small towns or mid-sized cities show a big difference. Their medians and top percentiles are all pretty close to each other. So what can we take away from this? Big cities mean bigger salaries, but also big cities mean higher cost of living. So while you might earn more in Berlin, Hamburg or Munich, you're also likely spending more on rent, food and everything else. It's about the context, not just about the numbers. Let's skip the next filter, heating type, because I'm honestly not sure why that would impact your income ranking. We'll also come back to renting versus owning in a moment, which has probably a higher statistical significance. For now, let's talk about something that really affects your income ranking: who actually lives in your household. Take a single parent, one person earning but two mouths to feed. A net income of 1,560 euro makes you the median, and 2,750 euro puts you in the top 10%. Now compare that to a DINK household, double income, no kids. Statistically the highest earning household combo in Germany. 2,420 euro make you the median and 4,300 gets you in the top 10%. And here's something interesting. A combined income of 4,400 euro for two people gives you a living standard as if each of you were earning 3,800 euro individually, not 2,200, which will be the actual split. Why? Because the calculator factors in shared costs. Living with a partner means some expenses like rent, internet or electricity can be shared. Let's talk about the difference between men and women. The median net income for men in Germany is 2,180 and for women it's slightly lower at 2,070 euros. That might not seem like a huge gap, and around the middle of the income curve the graphs actually look pretty similar, but where things start to diverge is at the top. To be in the top 10% of men you need to earn 4,000 euro net, and for women it's 3,700 euros. This doesn't necessarily explain the why behind the numbers. This could be due to a number of factors like job type, working hours or career breaks. So one would need to do more research before jumping to a conclusion here. Let's move on to employment type. And as you would expect, this makes a huge difference in how your income ranks. If you're working full-time, the median income is 2,520 euros, and to be in the top 10%, you need 4,400 euro net. Compare that to part-time workers, median at 2,100 and top 10 at 3,600 euro. Next up, your education level. People without Ausbildung have a median income of 1,520 euro and the top 10 start at 2,620 euro. Now let's compare that to someone with a university degree. Median is 2,800 and top 10 is over 5,000 euros net. So clearly, higher levels of education have the trend to earn a higher income. But remember, this is statistical. It doesn't mean that every graduate earns more than someone who didn't go to university. Now let's take a look at age, because income doesn't stay static throughout your life. In your early 20s, the median net income is 1,870 euro, which makes sense because people are just entering the workforce. And by the time you hit your 30s and 40s, median income rises to 2,150 euro net, and the top 10 start at 3,700 euros. And the older you get, the more you earn, because the top 10% for people in their 50s and early 60s start at 4,500 euro net. What this filter shows really well is that your income potential changes over time, and where you are now might not be where you'll stay. Are you renting or do you own your home? A net income for renters is 1,680 euros, and to be in the top 10%, renters need 3,100 euros. For homeowners, the numbers are noticeably higher. Median income is 2,500 euro, and top 10 starts at 4,400 euro. So what's going on here? It's not necessarily that owning a home causes a higher income, it's more likely the other way around. People with higher incomes are more likely to be able to afford buying a home in the first place. And if you're not sure if renting or buying is better for you, you can watch this video. And now, the filter many of you may have been waiting for. Are you an expat? The median income for people without a migration background is 2,230 euro. And for people with a migration background, the median is significantly lower at 1,650 euros. And at the top 10% level, the gap is even bigger. 4,000 euro net for those without a migration background and 3,200 euro for those with. Again, this doesn't tell us why the difference exists. There's language barriers, recognition of qualifications, and a lot more. But it gives us a realistic benchmark with people in similar situations. And that's incredibly valuable when you're trying to understand your income, negotiate a raise, or plan your financial future here in Germany. And what's better to build your financial future than booking a free meeting with us and watching this video next to learn more about legal but hidden tax saving. And if you want to try the calculator yourself, you can find the link in the description. If you're using Google Chrome, just right-click and select Translate to English. Thank you for watching and bis zum nächsten Mal.